Om Shanti. Today we will listen to Baba's Murli dated 3rd October 2020. Today's sweet Baba says, "Sweet children, after going into 84 motors, the batteries of you souls have become dull. Now charge them fully by staying on the pilgrimage of remembrance." Question: which children does Baba consider to be very, very fortunate? Baba tells the children who don't have any complications and who remain free from bondage. You are very, very fortunate children. By staying in remembrance, you can charge your batteries fully. Normally in the world, people who do not have bondages are considered unfortunate because other people would tell them, "Oh, there's nobody who belongs to you," or "Nobody calls you their own, so then you are very unfortunate." But Baba says those children are very, very fortunate because they are free from complications and bondages. And because they do not have any bondages that pull them towards themselves, they are pulled towards the Father, and they can charge their batteries by connecting with the one Father and make themselves fully charged. And this is the greatest fortune of this confluence age, and Baba calls these children very fortunate. So there is a lot of difference between Baba's dictates and what the world says. Baba also says, if you simply relate knowledge, but you have no yoga, the arrow cannot strike the target. No matter how brilliantly you relate your experience, if you don't practice what you speak about, your conscience will continue to bite you. And because 80% of our communication is non-verbal, so when our conscience bites, or when what we speak is not in alignment with who we are, then the communication or what we are saying does not go across completely. And the soul doesn't get influenced or inspired by what we are saying. Om Shanti. The spiritual father explains to the sweetest spiritual children. What is the name of the spiritual father? Shiv Baba. He is God, the unlimited Father. A human being can never be called the unlimited Father, Ishwar, or God. Although many people have the name Shiva, they are all bodily beings. This is why they cannot be called God. So, God is not a name. God is who God is, what God does. So nobody changes hell into heaven. Nobody speaks. Nobody is the ocean of knowledge or the ocean of purity. So there is only one God. Just by being called Shiva, nobody can become Shiva. So Baba says the father sits here and explains this to the children. This is the last of the many births of the one whose body I have entered. Many people ask you why you call this one God, because people can't see who has entered, because Baba can't be seen, and because they are not introduced to who has entered, so they think that the one they see, which is Brahma Baba's body, so when we say this is Baba, they think probably we are calling this human being God. So Baba says, then you have to clarify that we are not calling Brahma Baba God. So Baba says, many people ask you why you call this one God. From the beginning, the Father has explained that no physical or subtle bodily being can be called God. What is a subtle bodily being? So, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shankar are subtle bodily beings. So, Baba says subtle bodily beings are residents of the subtle region. They are called deities. The highest on high is God, the Supreme Father. His name is the highest on high, and his place of residence is the highest on high. So, God always resides in the incorporeal world, which is the highest on high world, and he is always called Shiva, which means the benevolent one. So God is characterized by the fact that he never becomes non-benevolent from benevolent. He always stays benevolent. Just like we souls, we were also virtuous, but then we become vicious. And every soul on the planet does that. But only Baba remains ever benevolent. That is why he's called Sada Shiv. So always Shiv. And then Baba is characterized by the fact that he is a resident of the incorporeal world. He doesn't come into this cycle of birth and death here. He is always the resident of that world. So Baba says, these are my qualities and I am different from all the other souls. So there is only one God. That is why you never say Paramatmai. So that word doesn't exist because the supreme soul is only one. You never say supreme souls. So there is only one supreme soul. So Baba says you should know there is a difference between God, deities, and other souls. So God is only one, deities are 33 crore in number, and other souls are multitudes in number. But Baba said they also have a fixed number, but we don't know yet because they have not all come down. So Baba says, his name is the highest on high, and his place of residence is the highest on high. The Father resides there with all souls. The place where he sits is also the highest. So he is at the top. So you know that in the soul world there is an inverted tree, and that is the tree of all souls, and the seed is at the top. That is, the Father has the highest place in the hierarchy of the souls when they are in the form of a tree in the soul world. So Baba says the place where he sits is also the highest. In fact, there is no place to sit there. So there are no chairs in the soul world. Do stars sit anywhere? So just like the stars are all hanging or standing or whatever you want to call them. So similarly, the souls also do not sit. They just stand, do they not? So Baba says souls also stand there with their own power. And what is the power of the soul which enables it to stand there? So only when the soul goes beyond the pull of all matter that it can stand there. So here right now I am sitting in this body, but I cannot sit still. Why? Because I'm pulled by matter. Now, when I am not pulled by this body or by any matter, then I just fly and stand there. So that is how souls go and stand there, and they need the power to go and stand there. The power that makes them move to soul consciousness from body consciousness, move beyond the pull of matter. So Baba says, you souls receive such power that you go and stand there. The Father's name is the Almighty Authority. You receive power from Him. When you souls remember Him, your batteries become charged. Just as a motor car has a battery and the car works with the battery. When the battery is charged by a current, the car works. Then the battery gradually becomes discharged. The battery then has to be connected to the mains power to be recharged and is put back into the motor car again. So, soul is the battery and the motor car is the body. So, now that we have lost power by changing our place from one motor to the other and taken 84 motors, we need to connect to the mains power and then we will again be put into a new motor. So Baba says those are limited matters. Here it is an unlimited aspect. Your batteries last for 5,000 years. Then gradually, while moving along, it becomes weak. You can tell that it hasn't completely discharged. It stays a little charged, just as a torch becomes dim. So then you replace the battery, right? Or you charge the battery. This soul is the battery of this body. This too becomes dull. This battery leaves the body and then goes into a second and then a third motor. The soul goes into 84 motors. So the father says, you have become once with such dull heads and stone intellects, because when the battery gets discharged, all parts of it stop functioning well. Similarly, when the soul gets discharged, the mind, intellect, and sanskar also become powerless. So the mind is not capable of peace or purity. This intellect is not capable of proper discernment and decision making or concentration. And then the sanskars also have all negative tendencies because the soul is discharged. So Baba says, now what you do? Then you recharge your batteries again. Souls cannot become pure without remembering the Father. It is only with the one Almighty Authority Father that you have to have yoga. And when you have yoga with that one Almighty Authority, then the basis of that yoga is experiencing that I belong to Baba, that I have all relations with Baba, that I'm like Baba, and that Baba is making me into a deity. So when you remember Baba with this consciousness and you understand that you are like Baba, then this consciousness starts coloring you and you start gaining your virtues and your powers back. So Baba says, the Father himself gives you his own introduction, what he is like, and he tells you how the batteries of you souls become dull. I am now advising you to remember me so that your batteries can become Sato Pradhan and first class. Souls become 24 karat when they become pure. Yes, and 24 karat gold is very flexible. So, and when the carat gets mixed with, when the gold gets mixed with alloy, then it becomes very stubborn, so stiff. So Baba says, similarly, when you, the soul, become 24 karat full, then your quality changes. Baba says, at the moment you're mixed with alloy, your strength has completely finished. That beauty is no longer there. So, just like the dead are stiff and the living are flexible, similarly, when the soul is full of vices, then it becomes stiff. So, lack of strength makes it stiff. So, Baba says, and when you're full of virtues, you're very flexible. You can operate with any kind of atmosphere, matter, people, anything. So Baba says, this is how you have lost your quality right now, and the beauty is no longer there. So that is why the face requires makeup, because the owner of the face, the owner of the body has lost its charm. The father now explains to you children The main thing is to stay in yoga and become pure. Otherwise, the batteries will not become charged. You won't be able to have yoga. There are many who give knowledge like a cockerel. Although they relate knowledge, they don't have that stage. Here they relate their experience with a lot of brilliance, but their conscience bites them inside because their stage isn't equal to what they speak about. So there is a discrepancy between who they are and what they speak. So the message, what they are trying to deliver, doesn't go across because the communication is confusing. So Baba says there are yogi children too. The father praises the children a lot. Those children who are yogi, those who take care of their vibration, those who take care of their purity and peace, Baba praises them a lot. The father says, children, you are very, very fortunate. You don't have many complications. So Baba congratulates the bondage free souls. Baba says those who have many children also have a lot of bondage. And how does Baba know this? Because Baba has a lot of children. And you see, Baba has so many children. Brahma Baba has all of us children. And then he takes care of all of us, and yet he becomes the number one because he has to put in several times the effort we make, because he has to become karmatit despite having so many bondages or children. So Baba says Baba also has to stay in remembrance. Baba has so many children, he has to take care of everyone. The fathers, so Baba says the remembrance of the beloved should become very firm. So now, when people remember their children, they also remember their beloved, who the children belong to. So Baba says, whenever I take care of you children, I also remember the beloved who has entrusted me with the duty of these children. So likewise, whenever you take care of your karmic bondages, the children or any family members, you should also remember the beloved, the one father who actually these children belong to. So Baba says, when you remember the father like a beloved, then you take care of his children in remembrance of the beloved who these children belong to. So Baba says, on the path of devotion, you were remembering the Father so much, oh God, He is the one you worship first. First, it is incorporeal God who is worshipped. It isn't that you become soul conscious at that time. So, in the beginning of devotion, you remember the picture of the staircase, which shows our 84 births. So in that picture, it is shown that in the beginning, the first devotion, when devotion begins in Copper Age, first we create the Somnath temple, and we actually pray to the incorporeal one by creating a Shivlingam made of diamonds. And gradually, as our consciousness becomes lower and lower, we start praying to, or we start surrendering to the lower forms of life. So, gradually we also start paying our homage to the five elements of nature, because nature, which is supposed to be our creation, we start worshipping nature because our consciousness becomes lower than even the status of nature. So just like we keep descending in our consciousness, we start worshipping anybody who is higher than us. So in the beginning, we only worship the highest on high, and then as we fall down, we start worshipping everybody else. So Baba says that He is the one you worship first. First, it is incorporeal God who is worshipped. It isn't that you become soul conscious at that time, because Baba says those who are soul conscious would not worship anyone. So, worshipping is an act performed in body consciousness. So Baba says, so you are soul conscious in the golden and silver age. There is no worship. And then when you become body consciousness, then worshipping starts. So the father explains when devotion first begins, it is the one father who is worshipped first. It is Shiva alone who is worshipped. As are the king and queen, so are the subjects. So everybody becomes a worshipper. So in golden and silver age, everybody is worship worthy. And then from the copper age, the kings, queens, and the subjects all become worshippers. And in the beginning, they worship the incorporeal. The highest on high is God, only He must be remembered. Everyone below Him, like Brahma, Vishnu, and Shankar, don't need to be remembered. Only the highest on high Father has to be remembered. However, the part in the drama is such that you are bound to come down and then you start worshipping everybody. The father explains how you come down, and nowadays we are in such low consciousness that anybody who creates any statue right beside the road, we have to just bow down because we are so scared and so afraid because of our low consciousness that we bow down to everybody and anybody. There is no self respect left. So Baba says, it is in the drama that you fall and then you start worshipping everyone and everything. The father explains how you come down. The father explains everything from the beginning to the end and from the top to the bottom. Devotion is also Sato Pradhan at first, and it then becomes Sato, Rajo, and Tamo. You are now becoming Sato Pradhan once again. It is this that requires effort. So, moving from Sato Pradhan to Tamo doesn't require effort. We are very adept at it. But now that we are moving from the Tamo Pradhan to the Sato Pradhan, it requires a lot of effort because there is a lot of pull of matter and Maya, because we have a karmic bondage with all of this. And then through the power of remembrance and the power of purity, we have to uplift ourselves so much that we go and stand in that incorporeal world and are free from all bondages. So Baba says, so this requires effort. You have to become pure because yoga is about filling yourself, and the imbibing of purity is about making sure there is no leakage. So Baba says, check yourself to see that Maya is not deceiving you. Do I have criminal eyes? Do I see the body? When I see a person, do I see the body, and do I think of the body as an object of satisfaction? Or do I see the soul and have the consciousness of a giver, or a one full of respect and love and trust and regard for the other? So, do I radiate the energy of respect and regard, or do I look at another person as an object of sensual pleasure? So, one has to be very careful about whether we have the eyes of a devourer or the eyes of a respectful and a loveful soul. So, Baba says, check, do I have criminal eyes? Do I have any thoughts of committing sin? Since Prajapita Brahma is remembered, his children must be Brahmins, brothers and sisters. So we are the children of one Baba, brothers and sisters. Worldly Brahmins too consider themselves to be children of Brahma. You Brahmins are brothers and sisters. So why do you have vicious vision? You can give very good drishti to the worldly Brahmins. So you can also look at them with elevated vision. You children understand that the children of Brahma now become Brahmins and then deities. It is said that the Father comes and establishes the Brahmin and deity religions. This is something to be understood. You children of Brahma become brothers and sisters. Therefore, there should be no pull of bad vision. So, the vision will change when the consciousness shifts. So, there are four words: there is consciousness, attitude, vision, and then action. So, only when we change our consciousness from worldly to the fact that we are children of one Baba, we are brothers and sisters, will we be able to change our vision towards each other and make it pure. So Baba says you have to prevent bad vision. This one is my sweet sister. There should be that love. Let the love that there is in a blood connection change into spiritual love. Even though this is called easy remembrance, it does require a lot of effort because there is a lot of resistance from old beliefs, old conditioning, old sanskars, old patterns of thinking. So there is a lot of effort. We need to consistently stay aware in the new consciousness. So Baba says, consider yourself to be souls and remember the Father. You must not have any vision of vice. Baba has explained that your eyes deceive you a lot. They have to be transformed. So, by transformation of eyes, Baba means the transformation of drishti or vision. And how do you change the vision? By changing the consciousness of who you are and what relationship you have with the other. So, I'm a soul, and as a soul, I have a spiritual brotherly relation with the other soul. This changes your eyes or your drishti. So Baba says, I am a soul. At this time, we are Shiv Baba's children. We brothers and sisters have been adopted. We call ourselves Brahma Kumars and Kumaris. There will then be a difference in your behavior. So only when the vision changes, the action changes. It is a teacher's duty to ask everyone in class, do you think that your vision is that of brothers and sisters, or is there some mischief? So, today you have to submit this report, all of you who are listening to the Murli, that do you think that your vision is pure, brotherly, or do you think there is some criminal mixture in that vision? And now pay attention to what Baba is saying now. Baba says, if someone doesn't speak the truth in front of the true Father but tells lies, a lot of punishment will be experienced. In a court, they have to take the oath to speak the truth in front of God, the truth. So they say, I consider that God is in front, so I will only speak the truth because God is the truth. And now, practically, when God is in front, can we afford to lie? So, even in a court, they believe that if you lie after considering that you have spoken before God, then you will be held accountable. Then, can you lie when God is actually present before you? So, just think about all the lies you have ever told by being present before Baba. Those lies are punishable. So Baba says a child of the true Father would also be truthful. The Father is the truth. He only speaks the truth. All the rest are lies. They call themselves Shri Shri 108. In fact, that is a rosary of beads that is turned. And those beads are symbolic of those children who became Baba's helpers in this task of world transformation. Remember yesterday's Murli? So Baba explained that. So Baba says they don't even know why they turn the beads of a rosary. Christians too have a rosary. Buddhists also have a rosary. All of them turn the beads of their rosaries in their own way. You children have now received knowledge about what these beads stand for. Tell them the tassel at the top of their rosaries of 108 symbolizes the incorporeal one, and they always kiss the tassel or touch it with the forehead with veneration, because that stands for the Shiv Baba who makes those 108. Everyone remembers him. It is by remembering him that we become queens of heaven, that is, we become empresses. To become Lakshmi or Narayan from an ordinary woman or man is to become the velvet kings and queens of the Sun dynasty. So, if you come in the beginning, it is like coming into a kingdom full of velvet. Later on, they become cotton ones, means the quality of the atmosphere, the world changes and is degraded. So, even if you become a king later on, that is less valuable. Therefore, keep such points in your intellect so that you can explain them to others. Your name will then be glorified. Speak like a lioness, yes, because you are speaking on behalf of Shiv Baba. You are combined with Shiv Baba, so you should speak with the might and the authority of Shiv Baba. You are the Shiv Shakti army. Yes. And what do they teach in the army? They teach them to be very, very alert and aware. So Baba also trains us, the army, to be very aware and alert of Maya. So Baba says there are many types of army. Go to other places and just see what they teach everywhere. Go there. Baba has explained that criminal eyes deceive you a lot. So this army that we are has to be very careful of criminal eyes. You should speak about your stage. Yes, with stage, your elevated stage. Always share how elevated your stage is. But first create it and then share. Because if you speak lies, then the other person will find out. So Baba says you should speak about your stage. Relate your own experience and how you live at home and how it affects your stage. So, how living soul consciously, living as a trustee, living with purity, how it enhances your stage. Explain this to others. Keep a diary for how long do I maintain this stage, because only if you speak what you are, it will have an impact. So, always keep a diary. How long do I maintain this stage? The father explains Maya becomes very powerful and fights with the powerful ones. So, this is a battlefield, is it not? Maya is very powerful. Maya means the five vices. Money is called wealth. Those who have a lot of wealth are the ones who become like Ajamil, means the great sinner, because in these days, wealth is earned with sin. That is why that wealth makes you an even bigger sinner. In Satyug also there will be wealth, but that wealth will be a byproduct of our karma here in the confluence age. And this karma is free of sin. That is why that wealth will not make us a sinner. So Baba says that the father says, first of all, you have to save the prostitutes. They will then create their own association. We want to claim our inheritance from the father. The father says, I have come to make you into the masters of the land of Shiva. This is your last birth. tell the prostitutes, it was because of you that Bharat lost its honor. The Father has now, so Baba says, the Father has now come to take you to the land of Shiva. According to Srimad, we have come to you. You must now become the masters of the world and glorify the name of Bharat like we are doing. We are also becoming pure by remembering the Father. So you also teach them how to become pure by remembering the Father. You must stop doing that dirty business for one birth. Have mercy, and your name will be glorified a great deal, because people do not understand spiritual shift, but they can see social transformation. So, Baba says if you give the spiritual knowledge to prostitutes and teach them the spiritual skills and tools through which they can become pure, and then when there is social transformation and people see that, then your name will be glorified. So, Baba says, people will then say you have such power that you have made them stop doing that dirty business. Everyone has an association. You can also create your own association and take help whatever you want from the government. So, if you do this kind of a social work, you can also seek assistance from the government. Therefore, now serve those who do dirty business and who defame the name of Bharat. Your union also has to be very strong. 10 to 12 of you people can go and explain to them. There should be very good mothers. If a new couple comes, tell them we remain pure. So, the new couple, if a new couple tells a new couple that we remain pure, then they will also be inspired to remain pure. It is only by becoming pure that you become the masters of the world. So, why should you not remain pure? A whole group of you should go and explain. Say with a lot of humility. Yes? So, seva is always done with humility. So, say with a lot of humility, we have come to give you the message of the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. Destruction is now just ahead. The Father says, I have come to uplift everyone. You mustn't indulge in vice for this one birth. Tell them we Brahma Kumars and Kumaris are serving Bharat with our own bodies, minds, and wealth. We are not asking for alms, so we are not begging. So we are the children of God, and we, God's children, are creating a new world with our own effort, mind, body, and wealth. We are the children of God. Make such plans. It isn't that you can't help. Do such work that you are praised. Thousands will emerge to help you. So, if you do good work, you will always receive cooperation. Create your own gatherings. Select the main ones. Hold seminars. Many will emerge who can look after the children. So, Baba says, you will receive all cooperation if you go by Srimad and do as Baba says, then people will come forward to even look after your children. If you look after what God is entrusting you with, then God will look after who you are entrusted with. This is a law. So Baba says, just keep yourself busy doing God's service. Let your hearts be so generous that you can quickly go and do service. Have generous hearts. Don't think about limited 2-4 children. Think about the whole of humanity. Think about the sorrow that humanity is going through, and think about how to serve them and alleviate their pain and sorrow. So Baba says you should have such generous hearts that you just go on service at the slightest beckon. So Baba says on the one side do this service, and on the other side do the service of the Gita. Take these things up together as a group. You are studying to become Lakshmi and Narayan. Therefore, you children mustn't have any conflict of opinion amongst yourself here. So, Satyug is a world of harmony. So, you cannot have conflicts here if you're creating a world of harmony. So, Baba today is also teaching us what kind of vision, what kind of attitude, what kind of personal practices we should have amongst ourselves if we are trying to give God's message to the world. So we shouldn't have conflicts among ourselves. We should be generous hearted. We should have pure vision. We should have humility while speaking God's message. So Baba says these are the virtues you need to imbibe to do spiritual service. If you hide something from the father and don't tell him the truth, you will cause yourself a loss. Because a patient, if he hides something from the surgeon, then he remains untreated. So Baba says, never hide anything from the surgeon and never say any lies before Baba, because even in the world, people don't speak lies if they think they are speaking before God. You will accumulate 100-fold more punishment if you hide or lie. Acha. To the sweetest, beloved, long lost, and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning from the mother, the father, Bab Dada. The spiritual father says namaste to the spiritual children. The spiritual children say namaste to the spiritual father. Essence for dharna. We are the children of the sweet Father. We have to live together as sweet brothers and sisters. Never have any vision of vice. If there is any mischief in your vision, tell the truth to the spiritual surgeon. Never have any conflict of opinion amongst yourself. Be generous hearted and do service with great humility with your body, mind, and wealth, and give everyone the Father's message. Blessing. May you become Maya proof and give the practical proof of God's knowledge with your elevated life. So always pay attention to making your practical life elevated, because your practical life is the practical proof that God is teaching you. By considering yourself to be a practical example and prove God's knowledge, you will become Maya proof. So if you pay attention to your practical life, then Maya will never take a chance with you. Practical proof is your elevated pure life. The biggest thing that becomes possible from impossible is living in a household while having an attitude of being beyond and remaining beyond the awareness of bodies and relations of the physical world. When you see but not see with the eyes of the old body, the things of the old world, it means you are leading a life of total purity. This is the easy way to reveal God and to become Maya proof. So when you live in a family and are detached and loving, you are with everybody, but then you are pure and there is no vice or attachment. This is the practical proof that you are God's student. Slogan. If the guards of attention are working well, you cannot lose your treasure of super sensuous joy. Okay, Om Shanti.